G'day Reefers, I'm Cam the Fish Guy. Welcome to Gallery Aquatica TV. Today's episode of Gallery Aquatica TV is all about Triton. How to mix it, how to use it, and why it is so good. So let's have a look at all of the items that we're going to need to mix our Triton supplements today. First of all, we have our Triton packs. Now we have both of the options here today. The first option is Other Methods. Now the Other Methods pack makes up 4 lots of 4 litres, the same as the Triton method, but it's designed specifically for tanks that are not necessarily running the Triton method. And the big factor is whether or not you run a refugium. And with Other Methods, you use this on tanks that are not running a refugium. So we're going to put this one aside and not use this one today. Today we're going to be mixing the Triton method. The other things that we need to mix up, we have our 4 clearly labelled containers. Now each of these holds 5 litres. That's important because we're mixing up 4 litres of solution, so the solutions will easily fit in these containers. But most importantly, they're very clearly labelled. We have these with our Gallery Aquatica logo on it, but it's very clearly labelled 3A, 3B's down here, 2 and number 1. So we've got the 4 parts clearly labelled. We've also got 20 litres of RO water. So it's actually RODI water, and we have a TDS meter here, and we've checked our TDS. It's very important to use very good base water when mixing your supplements. And today, I'm happy to say, the TDS of our RODI is actually 0. So that's very good RO water to mix our supplements. We also have the 2 most handy things. We have a funnel and we have a measuring jug. So let's open up our base elements kit and have a look at what you get inside. So let's open up our box of Triton supplements. You'll notice on the box itself, you get these very clear instructions. Now we're going to be referring to these instructions in a minute, so I'm going to keep them handy. But when you open up the box, you can see there are a number of containers of supplements. We've got 3A, which is a carton. We've got 1, which is like a hard crystal in a carton. This will be 3B, similar to 3A. We've got a little bottle, which is 1B, and that's going to be mixed into the first part. And the next part is a big bag of what is magnesium for part number 2. So now we have all of our supplements out of the box. We're going to start by mixing up number 1. Now I'm referring to the instructions on the box, and number 1, which is calcium, takes 3.35 litres of RODI water. So I'm going to measure that out and tip the calcium and the water and a little bottle of trace into this first jug.
When you're ready.
So now we have our 3.35 litres of 0 TDS RO water. We're going to open up our part number 1, the calcium. Now I find this calcium is often quite chunky and solid. So the trick that I use when I'm mixing this, try and break it up as much as possible in the carton, but I tip the crystals into the funnel, breaking them up as much as possible. I'm going to tip about half of the crystals in, making sure it doesn't fall over. No, I'll tip it all in. But the trick is that you tip your water over the crystals. and you'll almost always get a few big chunks of the crystal that, with a clean knife or pliers, you can break up a little bit. I'm also going to rinse the carton to make sure that I get all of the calcium out of the carton. Almost it. I find the calcium is probably the part that takes the longest, and you'll see in a second how quick the other parts are. So I've still got half a litre of water left. This will just dissolve the crystals up a little bit so they go in easier. Alright. So now we have all of our crystals and our 3.35 litres of RODI water in our vessel number 1. I'm going to add the second part of number 1, which is the trace elements. Okay. Every little drop. I'll put this aside. Put the cap on. And now we shake. And I'll shake this a fair bit over the next sort of 10 minutes. I'll just shake it every few minutes for 30 seconds. Okay. So let's start on the second part, magnesium. So the magnesium takes 3.02 litres of RODI. So I'll start by measuring that out. So there are two big tricks when it comes to mixing in your magnesium through a funnel. The first thing is, it's very important that you break up any of the big chunks, and you can throw it on the floor. Ensuring you don't throw it so hard that it breaks and goes everywhere, or you can just knead it. So the second part is to ensure that you have a nice dry funnel. Now, I rinse the funnel in between each of the parts when it comes to Triton or any brand of supplements, so that you don't have two different parts reacting together. But in this case, I also dry it, because when you come to pouring your magnesium through the funnel, having it dry will allow it to flow very easily. It makes all the difference. So I've just opened up a magnesium, and watch how easy this is. There we go. A perfect full bag run. So now I'm going to tip our 3.02 litres of RODI water in through the funnel. Now I do this just so that it gets the last tiny little bits of the magnesium off the sides of the funnel. It also means that all the RODI goes into the vessel. And the interesting thing about when you mix up the magnesium is it puts out a lot of heat. So the vessel that you're mixing it in needs to be able to tolerate that heat. You also need to be careful you don't burn yourself because it gets hot. All right, 3.02 litres. So I'm just going to shake it a little bit. And again, I'll come back to this. Generally, the vessel will swell up a little bit as the gas escapes. So I open it up, let it purge. I can feel it's getting really warm. Okay, I'll leave this here for now, and we'll start on 3A and 3B. Now 3A and 3B are both elk, and I do the same thing with the magnesium. I try and minimize the amount of big lumps in the cartons, and I also start with a dry funnel. So I'll measure out the water, and for each of these it is 3.84 litres of RODI, but first I'll start by drying my funnel. All right, so opening up our carton 3A, the first part elk. Now the interesting thing about Triton is it's actually designed for each of the parts to be used in equal volume. So in other words, if you're dosing 10 ml of part 1, you dose 10 ml of part 2 and part 3A and part 3B. All right, so hopefully I'll be able to do this in one go as well. Nice dry funnel. Probably have more chance of getting a lump or two in this one. It's a bit more difficult to stop the lumps, but no, it's going to go all through. Excellent. Our RODI. Oops. It's all about being as precise as possible when you're mixing supplements like this. So ensuring that you get the volume of the water right, that you don't spill any of the supplement, and that it's well and truly shaken. And one of the best things about the Triton is that when it's shaken properly, it does create a beautifully homogeneous solution which doesn't have lumps or sediment at the bottom. It mixes in really, really well, so you know your solution is homogeneous. But it's all about being precise when you're mixing, and with the right equipment, it's a very easy job. Okay, 3A, yep. So if you don't have nice labels like this, just use a Nico. We normally use a Nico, but we've got stickers now, so it's good. All right, that's 3A, one more to go. So the last part, 3B. Right, let's have a look at the end product. So there you have it. We have our 4 parts of the Triton method all mixed up, beautifully homogeneous solutions ready to be put on any one of a number of reef tanks we look after around the Brisbane area. And we have seen nothing but positive effects when we have moved tanks onto this supplement. My display tank, as an example, is having less problem algae. The colours of the coral are looking sensational, and the growth rate has improved. It's a very easy supplement to mix and a very easy supplement to use. So that's our episode of Gallery Aquatica TV for today. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss an episode. I'm Cam the Fish Guy. Happy reefing!